What up, fam? It's your boy DTLF back with another episode of Around the League. And boy, do we got a good one for you today because we just had a blockbuster trade, the one that no one saw coming. Donovan Mitchell was just traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers out of left field. And this is what I always tell people, man. It's always the trades you never even hear them talk about that end up happening most of the times. Not always, but most of the times. And yes, we have another case of that here with the Cavs and the Jazz. Now, the full trade details are as follow. The Utah Jazz are trading Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Lauri Markkanen. All right. I'm not going to pronounce this guy's name. Okay. Okai Abaji or something like that. Colin Sexton and 3 unprotected first-round picks. 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, as we're rumored with the New York Knicks. 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. So essentially, they get to swap around some picks if they have better standing in the future. So, but how's everybody doing? How you doing? What's up, Laker girl? What's up, Gibbs? All right. What do I think of this trade? Well, first of all, it was a shocker. Nobody was talking about it like we always say, the ones you don't see coming. Secondly, wow, the Cavs. All of a sudden, the Cavaliers, they have such a incredibly formidable team. Like the Cavs came out of nowhere now, and they're going to have Evan Mobley. They're going to have crazy backcourt tandem. My goodness, man. Like the East is about to be stacked. Last year, the East was already better than it was the previous seasons. But all of a sudden, now you can talk about the Cavs as a potential actual playoff contender. That's nuts, all right? Because they just won the offseason with this trade. They get Donovan Mitchell, right? They still have Darius Garland. They still have Karis LeVert off the bench. Obviously Evan Mobley. Like they're so stacked at almost every position, and they did this after LeBron James left. So kudos to them, because a lot of people always say, "Oh, what are the Lakers going to do after LeBron leaves?" Well, this is how you rebuild. The Cavs are doing an exceptional job of that, and then they pull off this trade where they only give up 3 first-round picks. Donovan Mitchell is well worth the price of admission. Now, they also gave up Colin Sexton, but they weren't really planning on re-signing him anyways. Now, stay tuned, because we're also going to talk about how this might potentially impact the Lakers and what we want from them moving forward. But the Cavs are going to be a legit threat in the Eastern Conference. Last year, the Cavs ended up in the 9th seed, all right, at 44-38. I wouldn't be shocked if they get to 50 wins this year after this trade. I'm dead serious. And as far as the Western Conference, well, the Jazz now become a rebuilding team officially. We saw this coming, right? But they officially become a rebuilding team, and now that's one less team we have to worry about in the West. So that's the good news. You said Markkanen or Mobley. Who did you like more? I like Mobley better, clearly. The lottery pick, man, exceptional. She said, I'm not going to hold you. I'm worried about the Lakers. If we don't make a move, I'm going to be pissed. I feel you. And I do expect the Lakers to still make a move here. And I do want to get into that in a little bit. Matter of fact, let's get into that now. Now, Utah still has coveted free agent trade assets that teams are going to be interested in, including Bojan Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley Jr., and amongst others, right? So who do you guys want for the Lakers? I'll take Clarkson and Bojan if that's a possibility, because Utah's about to, definitely go on a fire sale. I see that coming for sure. Now, this is not a shock to anybody that they traded Donovan Mitchell. The shock here is that he went to the Cavs. All right, for months they were talking about the Knicks. The Knicks always tend to do this. They fumble it, man. They fumble the ball. Listen, you're at the 1-yard line. All you had to do was give up maybe an extra draft pick. I heard all they wanted to give up was 2 unprotected first-round picks. Why do you want draft picks? You don't do great with them anyways. You don't have good lottery luck. Trade them for the star player. The Knicks really fumbled the ball here. And again, the Knicks are my second favorite team if I had to pick one, right? Just because they're so loyal and, grow up watching Jamal Crawford, Nate Robinson, players like that, Latrell Sprewell from the past. But, yeah, that Cavaliers backcourt all of a sudden is OPZ, man. What's up, Johnny? He said, I'd be down for trying to get Conley and Beasley. You guys like Conley? Who in the chat wants Conley? Thanks so much for the super chat, bro. Conley is a very good player. I just worry about his injuries. And you heard the recent update from Kendrick Nunn is that he's progressing back to the court slowly. That's the last thing you want to hear as a Laker fan, because we already went through this last season, right? So I'm not sure. He said, you called it, Dan. The Utah Jazz unfollowed that Donovan Mitchell unfollowed the Jazz. I noticed this yesterday, so I knew something was up. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, I didn't call it, man, because I did not have him going to Cleveland. And here's the thing about the Lakers, man. No team really wants to deal with us. It's so annoying, right? We couldn't get involved in the New York Knicks deal. Obviously, the Knicks dropped the ball as a result that might have impacted us. Today, there were rumors about us wanting Cam Reddish, which I'm completely for, but I thought he would be included in this package. None of that. None of that. So again, the Lakers back to ground zero. What are we going to do? Are we really going to go into the season with Russell Westbrook? Like, somebody, please let me know. I still don't believe it. I don't believe it till I see it, man. Till it's officially training camp and this man's still on the roster, then I'm going to be sad. All right. But as of right now, still think there's plenty of talent to be had out there. My boy said, I take Bojan, Clarkson, and Beasley. Yes, I prefer that package for sure. Than the Mike Conley one, because Mike Conley, again, you don't know what you're getting. If he's available, very serviceable guard. I like him. He does the right thing, but I'm not sure. I think he has multiple years left on his contract. Somebody fact check that for me. Hey, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the super chat. He said, what does it mean for us? Do we keep Russ now? Now, I still think, listen, if you're looking at the Utah Jazz, they're still, on a rebuild. They're not going to keep, Bojan, Clarkson, Mike Conley, players like that. Malik Beasley, I still think they're going to make a trade. Now, is that with the Lakers? To be determined. The Lakers really got to step up to the plate here if they want to offload Russell Westbrook for sure. But listen, the Lakers have been quiet. Now, rumor has it today, another rumor surfaced about, the Lakers still talking with 5 different teams about Russell Westbrook. What could these extra mystery teams be? Could it be the Oklahoma City Thunder since they lost Chet due to injury? Maybe they go on another tanking year. I don't know. Could it be? I mean, who could these mystery teams be to be determined? But rumors still have them actively working the trade market trying to offload Russell Westbrook. Now, my hopes here, guys, for Laker Nation, for the rest of the NBA, is finally we get the blockbuster we've been waiting for. Right? This has been rumored for months for Donovan Mitchell to get traded. It's no secret he was going to get dealt after they traded Rudy Gobert. Finally, it happens. Can we finally start moving the domino pieces? Can they start falling, please? Because there's plenty of free agents. You still have the Montrezl Harrells of the world. You still have, the Dennis Schroeders of the world. Yesterday, Josh Jackson came off the board. Congratulations, Toronto. You got a good one. But what's next for our Lakers? I'm very curious. Bojan, Clarkson, and Beasley, that would be nice. We get 2 shooters there, 1 combo guard off the bench, and you get the wing that we've been wanting for a while now. My boy, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. He said, what up, bro? I think that we should just bite the bullet and take the Indy deal. I'm tired of the rumors. Shake my head. Do something, Rob. I agree with you, man. I think the Lakers probably would have did that already. But rumor has it they wanted to offload, bad contracts over here, man. They wanted to take THT, and they wanted the 2 first-round picks unprotected. And they wanted to give us Daniel Tice on top of that, man. So not only do they want the unprotected picks, which is already robbery, because as you can see, 1 extra unprotected pick can get you Donovan Mitchell, right? So this is how teams want to, they want to get away with highway robbery on the Lakers. And I'm so upset because the Lakers had it rightfully turned down a trade. It was rumored yesterday. I was going to drop a video, but man, I've been so busy. I just dropped off my mom. Been busy all week. But the rumor was that Indiana was willing to do that trade as long as we included THT and we took Daniel Tice back. And that's just not worth it at that point, because not only are you giving up 2 unprotected first-round picks, but now you're taking in a multi-year deal in Daniel Tice, who is a very formidable player, but you don't want those type of deals, right? Especially if you're offloading 2 first-round picks. My boy said Conley's contract is $20 million. Then last year of his contract are only $14 million guaranteed. I know, and listen, I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at all if we get Mike Conley, but I still prefer Jordan Clarkson and Malik Beasley, because they're younger assets who are probably going to be healthier and on the floor. The last thing we want is to add another Kendrick Nunn type player to this roster. He said, yo, Dan, my second favorite team is my old team, the Rockets, since I live in Houston, but my number 1 is the Lakers. Hey, shout out to Kyle Cruz, man. He made the right switch this offseason, man. Everybody's showing some love in the chat. We acquired another Laker fan. Yes, sir. He said, who makes us great, Dan? Your opinion. Is it the Indiana deal our best? Clarkson and them is cool, but will they help? I wish we knew how healthy Nunn is. The best deal clearly would be the Indiana deal. But the Utah Jazz deal is not too bad because we already acquired some bigs this offseason. If we didn't have bigs, I would for sure be crying for the Indiana Pacer deal. But since we acquired Thomas Bryant, we got Damian Jones, so we can afford to just maybe acquire some more guards, some wing depth. We really need wing depth. That's why the Cam Reddish deal could still make sense for the Lakers. What do they give up for that? Maybe a second round pick. He shouldn't be worth that much at this point. But I don't know what New York might want. Again, the Laker tax is real, guys. The Laker tax is real. But again, back to the Donovan Mitchell trade. My goodness, that Cavalier team is for sure going to be a top 5 team in the East. I'd be shocked if they're not. You got the Miami Heat. You got the Boston Celtics. You got the Milwaukee Bucks, the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, they might be a top 6. I forgot about the Chicago Bulls. Let's not forget about Toronto and Brooklyn still. So they might be a top 6 team in the East. And the Hawks got better. So that Eastern Conference is seriously starting to be really stacked, man. I would not want to be over there for the All-Star weekend if you're a guard because, you know, the Hawks also just traded for DeJounte Murray. And it looks like some of the conference is starting to balance out. Some of these Western Conference players like Donovan Mitchell starting to head east. So very excited, man, for this year's NBA. What do you guys think of the Blockbuster trade? He said, Jazz need to trade 2 players to receive the 3 players from the Cavs. Interesting. Now, it could still be worked in there or not. Not sure if this is finalized yet, but the trade is already being agreed to in principle. If not, Woj and Shams wouldn't have reported it. He said, did you hear that Indy wanted a salary dump Tice on us? It's funny because that's the garbage that they got from the Celtics for Malcolm Brogdon. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. This is usually how it goes. Everybody else pennies to the dollar. And what do the Lakers get? You know, we get the spare, man. We get the excess. So, you know, it's one of those things where I'm just like, man, I'm sick of it. Whatever trade happens, let's get it done, and hopefully we don't get fleeced. All right, because I'm ready for training camp already. He said, Dan, with the clean shave. Yes, sir. Shout out to my girl, man. She cut my hair really quick before I hopped in the shower. It is hot, guys. It is extremely hot weather. Stay safe. I heard it's not safe to be outside during this heat, especially if you're anywhere near the Inland Empire. If you're down by the LA area, it might be a little more tolerable. But this heat wave is it's insane. He said, Dan, hopefully Russ gets traded to the Jazz and the Knicks fans down bad right now. Now they can't get any stars. I feel bad for the Knicks fans, man. They're loyal. I'll give them that. You know, they're we have that in common. We're both very faithful to our team through thick and thin. Now, I'll say this. The Utah Jazz trade for the Lakers makes a lot of sense now because since they're in rebuild, they can always either acquire Russ and let his contract expire and then let him right off into the sunset, whether he goes to the Shanghai Sharks or somebody else gives him a chance. I wish him the best once he's off this team. They can do that, or they can just buy him out, right? They have the extra money to spare. That cap isn't going anywhere. So Utah makes the most sense for us now. But again, sometimes it's the trades we don't talk about. So rumor has it Lakers are talking to 5 different teams. I have no clue who they could be. I didn't even read the article. Listen, this is how sick of Russell Westbrook trade rumors I am. Your boy didn't do his research on who the 5 teams could be because I don't care at this point. As long as we offload them. That's the first time in the history of trade rumors that I don't read an article or do my research on that. So I really don't care as long as we offload Russell Westbrook. Who those 5 mystery teams could be, don't give a flying you know what. So that's the disappointing part, man. And it's one of those things where it's like I'm so sick of Russell Westbrook trade talks that it either gets done or it doesn't, but we'll move forward regardless. He said, deal shows how critical picks are. Keep the picks for now. No great deal out there for now. You know what? You might have a point there, Michael, and this is what I was preaching the other day. Draft picks are one of these things that make the most sense to hold on to unless it's a trade that moves the needle. That's why I said I would have preferred the Kyrie Irving trade because at least you're getting a star player, right? These other trades are just giving you role players. The last thing you want to do is offload 2 first-round picks for role players. I don't care how much desperation we are in to offload Russell Westbrook. Dan, I'm in Arizona and the heat is brutal today. Oh, my goodness. Tasia, please stay safe out there. Drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated, guys, please. The last thing I want is to hear any bad news from our Laker family. So everybody just stay safe out there. You know, now's the time to binge watch stuff. You know, turn up the AC full blast. Yes, the light bill's going up. Can't help it, man. Got to survive. He said, fact, we cannot get fleeced. Danny Ainge is robbing teams all over the NBA. You think so? You know what? surprisingly, I think this was a fair trade for both sides. If you think about it, like I said, the Cavs didn't have to give up, Colin Sexton, but they were not going to pay him. They weren't going to re-sign him. So then they did the sign and trade. It worked out for both parties. The thing is, they only gave up 3 unprotected first-round picks. Yes, it sounds like a lot, and then you got the 2 pick swaps on top of that. But how much could they be worth if the Cavs stay good, right? If they keep building on this, they have Donovan Mitchell for several years under contract. They're getting better as a team. They got Jared Allen, who I'm a big fan of. They have Karis LeVert, also a big fan of them. Obviously, Mobley's going to get better. And Darius Garland, I mean, didn't he win Most Improved Player or something like that? Right? So, listen, at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I think this is a rare trade where both teams ended up winning. The Jazz wanted too much for Donovan Mitchell. They saw that they couldn't get that, and now the market stabilizes a little bit. This is good news for the rest of the NBA. The fact that they didn't give up 7, 8 picks is the good news, right? If the Knicks would have gave up 6 picks or more, it would have been bad, because now what is the trade value for all-stars, right? All of a sudden it's skyrocketed. Now you're mortgaging your future and a half. And that's not what the NBA needs, right? If you're making a trade, it needs to be fair for both sides. And I honestly think that this was a trade that was fair for both sides. Thanks so much, Real One, for the super chat, brother. I appreciate you very, very much, everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all like this. I was not going to come on early, guys. I had to drop my plans and everything because of this Blockbuster trade, but it is a pleasure to be on here live with you guys, breaking it down. Exciting episode, because anytime there's Blockbuster trades, man, it takes you to the next level. Thanks so much, Dontario. Appreciate you, bro. You said, I agree, bro. Fair trade on both sides, right? This is one of the few fair trades that I could say, okay, because seriously, man, you have to feel really dumb if you're a Timberwolves fan after this one, because you gave up all of that for Rudy Gobert, where you could have almost got Donovan Mitchell. Think about that. Not that they needed him. Clearly, they have Anthony Edwards and all of that, but dang, this really makes you feel like you shouldn't have gave up all that for Rudy Gobert, who has 0 offensive moves in the post. He's all defense and rebounding when he wants to. Yeah, the Hornets trade is looking good now after missed trades. I don't know, man. I still don't want to do injured players over here. I'm doing good, Jason. Thanks for asking, brother. Thank you so much for asking, man. Kind of you to ask. The Knicks need Westbrook now? Not really. They obviously they have RJ. They kept RJ Barrett. I think they still have Derrick Rose on the contract, if I'm not mistaken. So they're good at the guard, and they just signed Jalen Brunson. So they're pretty good at the guard. They don't really need Russell Westbrook. But if they want some sort of star power, or they want to sell tickets, because the Knicks like selling tickets. I'm not sure if they like to compete. That front office is questionable, right? But who knows? Who knows what the 5 teams could be? No clue. I definitely wish we got Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, that was not going to happen, guys. I told you guys, don't even hold your breath for that. But, the fact that it was essentially, 3.5 picks, because those pick swaps essentially are picks, they're draft picks, but they're trading picks, right? That's what a pick swap is if I'm making a trade with a different team, I can, let's just say they got better position in the lottery. I can end up swapping my pick for theirs that year. And, basically you get the better standing in the lottery, right? So that's essentially what a pick swap is just a chance to improve your standings in the lottery, get closer to number 1. Yeah, the Jazz are officially in tank mode. So stay tuned, guys, because I could be dropping multiple videos today if we get any more news updates. I will definitely be refreshing my timeline all day long today. I'm sure you guys will be doing the same. But it's one of those things where, the Eastern Conference just got so much better, right? Mitchell to the Cavs, Gobert to Minnesota in the West, but DeJounte Murray to the Hawks. We're all waiting. Listen, we're all waiting on that Russell Westbrook trade so we can get even on the West side, because the West side has too much talent still, right? And we're trying to help the East out. Take Russell Westbrook off our hands and so on and so forth. Jeannie said Westbrook is pure Laker gold. She just said he was the most available, man. Let's not twist her words now. Dan, you don't have to be a Laker fan to know every team's trying to rob the Lakers. They hate. Every team is trying. The hate is real. When you got 17 banners hanging in the rafters, for sure. He said, Laker fans, you don't have to be a Laker fan to know it's crazy. That's for sure, Jerome. That's definitely true. But it's just so apparent because think about this, right? You see what we turned down from Indianapolis, right? From the Indiana Pacers. And look what it took to get Donovan Mitchell. And I'm not saying it's pennies to the dollar because you did offload talent there. You give up Markkinen, who had a good season with the Cavs. You give up Colin Sexton, who is a very good young player. I liked him. I wouldn't even got mad if we traded for him, right? And they're giving up, 3 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. So there was definitely some value there. I'm not going to say they got robbed, but can you imagine if the Lakers would have had the assets, what they would have required for us to get somebody like Donovan Mitchell? I don't even want to begin to imagine. Same thing with the Knicks. They were asking for a lot from the Knicks. So I think in principle, the Knicks did the right thing by standing pat. But still, they can never land the stars, and it's kind of crazy. It's like there's a curse there, and I think James Dolan should definitely sell the team. I think every Knick fan can agree with me. James Dolan is still the worst owner and probably all of basketball right now. So, hopefully he sells the team soon and the Knicks can get back on track because they have not had something great to cheer for in a long time. They were hoping for Zion. That didn't really pan out. But all right. I basically covered what I was going to cover as far as the trade. Like the trade for both sides. Players up for grab from the Jazz still. So I expect more moves to happen from Utah here. And like I said, I think the Cavs become a top 6 team in the East if everything gels properly. Now, are they a true contender? We got to see them on the court first because it usually takes a year or two for these new players to settle into their new teams, right? Donovan Mitchell is he's an all-star. He's not a superstar, but he's borderlining it. So we'll see how he adapts to his new team. What do you guys think so far, though? Are you guys disappointed the Lakers were not involved? Do you guys like the trade for both parties? I know most of you do. Thoughts on Russ for Conley, Bojan, and Clarkson, and both firsts? None and 2 seconds for Reddish. So I don't want to give up both first because the best player in this package right here is Bojan, right? Conley's not worth a first, not at this point. Matter of fact, they might just be looking to offload his contract. They might have to give up a second or something to offload his contract. But if it was that same package and just one first and maybe a second round pick or 2, I'd do it. As far as for the Cam Reddish, yes, he's worth 2 second-round picks. I'd do that. For sure, I'd do that. For surely. And I'm gonna share this text message. I just my phone's blowing up like crazy. My bad if anybody's watching and y'all been calling. I'm clearly on the live stream, so I can't answer right now, but I'll return the call. My friend just said from New York, he's a diehard Knicks fan, just sent me a text. He said, I can finally sleep good knowing that the Knicks aren't gonna trade for that overrated ass Mitchell. So you gotta love Knicks fans because they're very passionate about their team. And credit to him, he's not changing up. He really told me that he didn't want Donovan Mitchell. He preferred to keep RJ Barrett and all their assets. So shout out to him for staying true to himself. But I still, I disagree with him. That's my good friend. We disagree all the time. Sometimes we agree. I do believe Donovan Mitchell would have been good for the Knicks. I mean, you're talking about the first true star you've had since Carmelo Anthony. And then Carmelo was towards the end of his prime already. You're getting a prime Donovan Mitchell. That is a good look for your team for sure. But hey, hopefully it all works out for the Knicks. They still have Julius. They still got RJ. They just added Jalen Brunson. I'm a big fan of Derrick Rose. So let's see how they look. So Dan, keep this in mind. If we trade Westbrook to another team, he said they will buy him out and he will sign with the Flippers to stay in LA and seek revenge to the Lakers. Take it to the bank. Bro, I would pay to see him go to the Clippers. They already got some overrated guards over there. Reggie Jackson ain't shit once Paul George and Kawhi returned because he was only shining because they were out. He needs the ball in his hands. Now you got another player in John Wall who needs the ball in his hands. And by the way, I wish John Wall the best. Even though he's a Clipper, I did see his recent interview. My man was having suicidal thoughts. You never want to see that for nobody. So I wish him the best. He's the first Clipper that I wish him the best, right? I want to see him do good, except when he plays my Lakers. And no, I'm not rooting for stupid-ass Clippers. But I'm just saying, if they added Russell Westbrook, that would be an atrocity that I would pay to watch. Like, I would actually tune into a Clipper game for the first time in my life just to watch all that unravel, right? So please, by all means, take Russell Westbrook. He's not a great player anymore. He's just not. And it's not for me to be mean or nothing, but he's just not the player he once was with OKC. And the sooner he realizes the better it is for him, right? Because he might still have another year or two left in the tank with another team after his contract expires, but he needs to buy in to whatever role he gets, right? You can't be OKC triple-double Russell Westbrook and you can't win like that. The thing is, the roster makes no sense if we keep Russ and we still got a lot of holes to fill. I agree, T. And just like I told you guys a couple of days ago, I felt like Donovan Mitchell was about to get traded. He removed, you got to read the tea leaves. He removed that from his account, the Utah Jazz thing, and he's a very loyal player. So I figured, yeah, it's close. 2 days later, here we are. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. It can't be too far off because all the rumors and all the indications are pointing towards he's still going to get, or the Lakers are still at least trying to get him moved. Not to mention Utah already made a deal with us, and they got some pieces they don't need. So I think we're ideal trade partners, but I wouldn't be shocked if we make a trade out of left field for some unknown team that was not rumored, because like I said, that's usually what happens, right? Usually it's the trades you don't see coming that end up happening, and that's what happened here, right? With the Cavaliers and the Jazz. Nobody had that trade rumored, right? Maybe there might have been a fan or two floating that idea. The trade machine is very popular on Twitter, but none of the main reporters picked it up. Wojnarowski, none of these guys. So sometimes it's a trade you don't hear about. So let's see what happens with the Lakers. It still very well could happen. We still got about 4.5 weeks here before training camp. What are you guys doing? I want to know from Laker Nation and the rest of NBA family out there watching right now. What are you guys doing this offseason to keep your guys self busy? I would love to know because, the offseason goes off. It goes by a lot quicker. Ball is life for me. It feels so long from the moment the Lakers get eliminated to now, right? To the beginning of training camp, which is like the 25th or 26th. What do you guys do to stay busy? I play a lot of ball. I've been going out to LA to visit my family, just spending time with family. What do you guys do? Curious. You said, if I'm LeBron, I make Pelinka work. They might be on the same page here. I don't think LeBron signs that extension without actually having a plan here. So I think they're on the same page. I think LeBron's helping call the shots behind the scenes. I just hope they actually make the right move and not dig ourselves in a deeper hole, just like we did with the Russell Westbrook trade. He said, Oliver, we are desperate for anybody. We just want Russell Westbrook off the team. Absolutely. Hey, do you think the Rams will repeat this year? Yes, I do. I believe in this Ram team. We got some new acquisitions. We lost a couple of key players, but hopefully, if health is on our side this year, I love Sean McVay. I think he has a great game plan, and I think we'll be ready. The schedule's going to be tough, but I can't wait for that Bills game. Game one, man. Game one. One game at a time, though. Let's see. Hopefully, Matthew Stafford will be ready week one, and we're good to go. He said, Rams versus Steelers in the Super Bowl. I'd love to see it, man. I really would. He said, besides killing myself and listening to all these trade rumors on YouTube, just hanging out with the fam, Dan. That's what's up. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about, my friend. Hopefully, more of you are doing the same. He said, I'm playing basketball and on Twitter 24/7. Hey, 2K's around the corner. It comes out next Thursday midnight for those of you that pre-ordered it. Dan, if we get both Bojan and Buddy Hield, Lakers for life from the Philippines. I like that move. I would like that move for sure. And like I said, we can afford to do that because we already acquired some bigs in the paint, right? We got Thomas Bryant, who I'm very excited for, and Damian Jones. Not to mention, we still got Wenyen Gabriel. Who knows what's going to happen with Jay Huff? As we stand, we have 2 open roster spots. So maybe Cole Swider or Jay Huff can pull up and retrieve one. I don't know. But it depends, man. Free agency, there's still some good free agents. How do you guys feel at this current moment? How do you guys feel about, and by the way, his name just got cleared. He's in probation, right? But how do you guys feel about Montrezl Harrell on the Lakers? Would you guys like him? You guys think we have enough bigs? What do you guys think? Kelly says, I wish we could have kept Mark and the rookie, but I am excited for my Cavs. Congratulations, Kelly. Yes, Kelly. She loves her Cavaliers. Look, y'all got a great one in Donovan Mitchell. I've been a fan of his since basically he started, showing up in this league. And it's going to be very fun to watch your Cavaliers. I'm going to be tuning in. I got League Pass. So I'm going to be tuning in watching y'all, the Pelicans. I'm going to be tuning in to watch the Timberwolves, newfound team. So if y'all got League Pass, and by the way, rumor has it they're about to cut it by down to 50% off on the price. So now's the time to jump on League Pass, man. If you love basketball like yours truly, you're going to get a good deal for League Pass. I think it's only about $100 or so. So very excited to watch a lot of these other teams, but especially my Lakers. You said when for Trez? Now, Wenyan Gabriel doesn't have a guaranteed contract, so he's gonna have to improve. He's gonna have to show his improvement that he made this offseason or whatever leap he has made, got stronger, anything in training camp. But I liked him last year. I preferred Stanley Johnson, but I did like him. He said, been binging, watching movies and shows, sketching, and I'm about to visit some of my family members that are from St. Louis. Hey, that's what's up, Darius. That's dope, bro. That is dope. Definitely, if you got a hobby like sketching, that's pretty cool, man. As far as movies and shows, any good ones y'all been watching? I've been watching the new House of Dragons. That thing is fire, by the way. It's right up there with Game of Thrones. Different storyline, different eras, but very, very cool. Been watching the She-Hulk. Just seen the new episode. It was pretty dope, but I feel like the episodes are a bit short. Been watching some DBZ here and there, but whatever it takes, guys, just to make the offseason go by quicker. I got League Pass with my 2K. Hey, that's what's up, bro. Congrats on that. That's still a good deal because even though League Pass went down, it's still like 50 bucks off or so. So is that they blew it up in Utah. Hey, there's no surprise here, Nico. We had to know they were going to blow it up because obviously they traded Rudy Gobert, and they were rumored to have wanting to trade Donovan Mitchell for a long time. So I'm just shocked he went to Cleveland and not New York or Miami, which were heavily rumored to be engaged in trade talks for months. But you gotta love the NBA, man. That shock factor, my shock factor when I was reading that on the phone on the road heading back home, I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. But very excited to be here with y'all. Hey Dan, why can't they do the Pacers deal? They can, technically they can, but rumor has it we might have to include a third team to facilitate the deal because the Pacers probably don't want Russell Westbrook, or they might be willing to take him on if we include both of the first round picks. But who knows? Maybe we might circle back and finish that off for sure. He said, I'm a Nets fan, but I don't like the Lakers, but I like you. You're a chill Lakers fan. Hey, that's high praise, man. That is high praise. Appreciate that. It just leaked that the Pacers don't want to trade Miles Turner. That's a bad decision on their part, but I don't blame them because Miles Turner is a very good player. But again, the rumors are going to be going crazy. This could all be trade leverage, and and excited to see what happens here. I do expect the Lakers to make another move. I've been telling you guys, and again, I've been telling you guys, I don't think that the Patrick Beverley trade is all we have this offseason. Even if it's a minor move, let's just say it's something for Cam Reddish. I can see that happening, but we at least need another move. We need to solidify that wing depth, right? Because I like Juan Toscano, but I don't see him playing heavy minutes. I like Troy Brown Jr., but again, unproven player. So even though he's young, he has a lot of potential, unproven. And then you got LeBron there. So we need somebody else for insurance purposes. Cam Reddish would be dope because he's still underdeveloped, in my opinion. I think he can be a very good player in this league. It reminds me a little bit of Rudy Gay, that type of mold of a wing player. Athletic, can shoot. Hopefully he becomes a solid defender. I like it. Thoughts about UCLA and USC going to the Big Ten? Oh, man. Look, man, I'm excited, all right? Just the fact that we're getting all these associations coming back, the fact that we're getting college football, college basketball, and the NBA and the World Cup, all these sports are coming back. I'm just excited, man. I don't really want to comment too much on college right now, but I'm excited. It's something new, something different. The Lakers don't do a trade for Russell Westbrook before the start of training camp. Rob Pelinka should be on his third strike already. I think so. I think that'll be the final straw, that broke the camel's back. I'm rooting for Rob. As long as he's a Laker president of basketball ops, we need him to be on his game, right? We need him to be on his A1. But yeah, he's made plenty of mistakes, and those happen. But as long as you get back on track, everything should be fine. He's on the clock now because we need to improve this team. LeBron is not going to stay, in his young old self forever. I mean, this man is eventually going to start declining. Father Time is undefeated. I just hope it doesn't happen this year or the year after that or the one after that, right? Because he's different, right? And even as his game has already declined, he changes different facets of his game, like adding more of post game, his footwork has gotten better. His jump shot has gotten better over the years. So he can continue to be effective. So that's why he's one of the GOATs for sure. He said he's waiting for the new Chucky season. Oh, season 1 was decent for sure. I liked it. I liked the show. Hopefully they drop it around Halloween, because these shows and these horror movies, I think it's better when they drop around October. Much more excited to go watch them for sure. He said, I wish my Pistons could have got THT. He's good. He just didn't fit with y'all. I agree, Banks. And yeah, look, the Pistons, man, y'all going to be fun to watch as well. I might tune in for a couple of games this season just to watch you guys play because, I like that Ivy kid. I really do. And obviously, Cade Cunningham had a solid season last year. I look forward to seeing him take another leap in his progression, his development. I've always liked Sadiq Bey. You guys are going to be very formidable for years to come, and you have a bright future. So I look forward to watching that. Is it more likely the Lakers will trade with the Jazz instead of the Pacers? Yes, most likely for sure, because the Jazz have players that they don't want, right? So they're dangling some very good players, but don't be surprised if other teams get involved here and try to block it because, the Lakers will be really good if they get some of those pieces like Bojan and guys like that. Lakers going to be really, really good. So let's just hope that the Lakers do it, man, because we do not want Russell Westbrook this season. It's not good, So now we have to watch for the Jazz and the Lakers, and as well as other teams potentially trying to pry away some of those players. Hopefully not. When do you want to be back on Lakers Nation? Anytime they'll have me. We follow each other on Twitter, so that's pretty cool. Trevor Lane follows me. I'll follow him. And I'll follow the other two guys, Sean and Matt. So, we've built a good friendship so far, and whenever they'll have me back, I'll be on there for sure, man. I'm sure they'll reach out, or maybe I'll reach out, and maybe I'll have them as a guest on here. Who knows? So we'll see. But very excited for the season. I'm sure we're gonna have plenty to talk about, both on their channel, them, as well as me on mine. As long as we feed Laker Nation, because y'all are starving for news, and so am I. So as long as we're able to do that, then we will be accomplished. Dan, are you also going to watch the Warrior games on League Pass? I don't like teams that dominate that aren't the Lakers because it's basically predictable, right? We know the Warriors, what they're going to be this season, right? I actually like young up-and-coming teams or teams you don't know what to expect from, like the Timberwolves, just to kind of like see where they're going, if they're going to live up to the hype or not, right? So that's usually the teams I try to watch on League Pass, or the number 1 overall draft pick, obviously Paolo Banchero. I might tune in once in a while to see what type of progression the Rockets have made, because again, on my second channel, Primetime TV, I will be covering some of those games. If they're exciting, I might go and do a post-game recap out of the blue. Again, this is strictly Lakers mainly here, except for Thursdays, which is today, right, when we do Around the League. I want to make that exception. But yeah, Primetime TV, space DTLF, that is where you want to be at if you want to hear my breakdown, during the course of the season from other teams as well as the Lakers. So very excited. Amy says, haha, have a daughter and is expecting with baby number 2 and moving in the next few months for the first house. Congratulations, Amy. That's awesome. That is awesome. He said, personally, I feel that the Utah Jazz trade is the best trade for our Lakers. Not only do Indy want too much, but both Buddy Hield and Miles Turner are suspect on the defensive end. I prefer Cam Reddish. I don't know about that one, bro. I can't agree with you on Miles Turner. Miles Turner is one of the top shot blockers in this league. So to say their defense is suspect, I don't know. Especially as a weak side defender, can you imagine AD and Miles Turner taking turns helping each other out on the weak side? Oh man, that would be a nightmare for teams. And that's the main reason I still prefer that trade. But that Utah Jazz one pretty much addresses what we need, right? Wing depth, 3-point shooting. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I would not mind that. She said, my off season's been busy. That's what's up. Glad to hear it. Very productive for sure. You probably had the best off season from any of us. Westbrook is going to play this entire year. Hopefully not with the Lakers, right? Hopefully not with the Lakers, man. Hopefully not with the Lakers. But yeah, one thing I can say about Westbrook, and to be, just to sit back and just be, objective about the whole situation, is that he plays extremely hard always. So that's the good news. I can't say that about the defensive end because he seems disinterested if he's not getting his numbers. But at least he shows up to work, right? So I'll give him credit for that. But everything else, man, the basketball IQ, the ego, the bad attitude, toxicity in the locker room, really, because if you're not listening to your coach, you're not leading by example. If you're a veteran, you're an MVP, a multiple-time All-Star, you should be leading by example. So those are the worst traits and assets from him. If Westbrook says, wait, what? That Darvin Ham's not going to keep playing him, Vogel, I don't know what you just said there, Dave, but I do believe that Darvin Ham's going to hold him in check if he does start early in the season. Now, what I would love to see, let's just say that doomsday scenario happens. We head into training camp with Russell Westbrook. What I would love to see is Darvin Ham be one of these rare coaches that truly gives everybody an equal opportunity. They're not just going to start you because you're getting paid $47 million. I would love to see if Lonnie Walker or Kendrick Nunn or one of these other guards rises to the occasion and pries away the starting job from Russell Westbrook. And if that happens, will Darvin Ham actually start those guys? If they outplay Russ in the preseason and all that, will Darvin Ham truly live up to what he said, right? Facts over feelings. That is my biggest question on him, and I can't wait to see him because I think he is going to live up to that. But to be determined, right? We can't see. It looks great on paper. It sounds good on TV, but I want to see it once we get between those lines. That's when I really want to see him hold them accountable. So Darvin Ham, I'm going to give him a 1-year pass, meaning I'm going to be critical, but I'm going to take it easy on him. Then after this year is over, that's really when I start dissecting the coach down, because it usually takes him about a year to get his feet wet and get used to this team, new offensive schemes, get the team to buy in, all that stuff. I hope that there is at least one good fight in the NBA this year. There's no real fights in the NBA, man. It's all about a bunch of pushing and shoving because of the NBA rules, right? And we don't really want these guys to lose paychecks and you know, they're here to feed their family. So we don't really want to see that. But if it does happen, then yes, grab your popcorn because it'll be interesting. But hasn't happened in a couple years, so I don't expect it to happen this year. Is Darvin Ham Greg Popovich's disciple? Well, he's a Coach Budenholzer disciple, right? But I think Coach Bud is from the Popovich coaching tree. So in a way, you know, weirdly, yes, kind of. Do you think Westbrook is petty enough to sabotage this upcoming season for the Lakers? Yes, absolutely, Guillermo. Absolutely. And that's the main reason I don't want him to be here, because I think he is that petty. He already proved it to me once. I didn't think he was that petty last season, and look. He said DTLF 3-team trade, the Lakers, Knicks, and Utah, where the Lakers get Randall, Bojan, Clarkson, the Knicks get Westbrook, Utah gets D Rose, none, Lakers first-round pick, and a second-round pick. Thoughts? I know most people won't do that because they don't want Randall, but if we're getting Randall, Bojan, and Clarkson, and we only have to give up one first-round pick, yes, I do that, as well as offloading Russell Westbrook. Now, I know that Randall has a multi-year deal, but can you imagine the depth we would have on this team if we had Randall coming off the bench? Just hypothetically speaking, right? Just saying, another trade would definitely humble Randall. We know Randall has a little bit of an attitude problem. You know, he feels accomplished because he was an all-star one season. But if he gets traded again, he has to humble himself. Then you're going back to LA, bro, where you didn't want to be here because we acquired LeBron, and it would conflict with you getting your money. But you got your money already. So there shouldn't be no problems. I think he should buy in, coming off the bench in a similar to a Lamar Odom role. People will think I'm crazy, but I think he's capable of that. He's versatile. You know, he's a solid passer when he wants to be. He needs to learn to use that right hand, though. That's the only thing. My only problem with him, he's a streaky shooter as well. But if he can operate from the free throw line in, I like him. He's a good mid-range shooter. He's improved over the years. He's kind of like a rich man Zach Randolph to me. He said, I'm a 76er fan. Allen Iverson is my favorite player. I thought the Lakers vs. Sixers finals was pretty good. Black Mamba vs. AI. I'm glad the Lakers got Kobe. Not only does Philly love the GOAT, so does the Lakers. That's what's up, bro. And you're living up to your name. Real one, for sure. And yeah, AI is one of my favorite non-Laker players as well. I got his jersey recently. He said, Kendrick Nunn can do it. He is more of a fit and should start. I would love to see that battle. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Darvin Ham is capable of benching Russ if he doesn't live up to expectations? Or do you guys think it's going to be more of the same like Frank Vogel? I doubt it. You know, I do believe Darvin Ham is a hard knocks type of coach. Like he ain't gonna take no nonsense, no attitude, none of that. Last year we had Russell Westbrook talking about his back is tightening up because he was on the bench in the fourth quarter. Like I was like, shit, bro. If I was the coach, I'd turn you into the water boy because ain't no way you're gonna disrespect me like that because you got benched because you were sucking the whole game. Like no way. Like I could not believe that. I think I went on a little rant after that post game press conference. He can't do that to Darvin. If he does that to Darvin, send his ass home immediately. Suspended, no pay, or whatever you can do. Just do it. Get him away from your roster if he starts doing that garbage. Because that's not right. He's acting like he's a rookie, man. You're supposed to be a veteran. You're supposed to be an all-star, a team leader. And instead you want to be toxic, Russ? That's why. And then you wonder why LA boos you. Bro, you deserve those boos last year. And I usually say don't boo our own players, Laker fans. But this was an exception. Like, man said he didn't expect to win. Man said, people don't appreciate his triple doubles when even we weren't winning, even when he was getting them. The man was just confused last year, and I'm not sure he's gotten a clue yet. So that's the reason Laker fans want him gone. All right. And Russell Westbrook fans will call us haters, ignorant, etc., etc., but they're just as oblivious to the reality as their favorite player is. It's like Russell Westbrook's not who he's not him. He's not a championship leader. He's not somebody who's going to lead you to the title. He could have been a role player on a championship contending team, but he decided not to be. He wanted his triple doubles instead. So, you kind of made your bet in it, and now you got to lie in it, Russ. That's the only thing I got to say about that. Dennis, appreciate the super chat, bro. He said, do you think we can do trades with players from the Raptors? They have a gang of wings we can use. Well, if they're willing to, to let up, they just acquired what did they acquire? I think they acquired another wing, Josh Jackson, bro. So I was kind of confused about that because they already had Pascal. Obviously you got the Rookie of the Year. They got plenty of wings over there. But I guess, it's never too many wings. As you know, that's one of the most coveted positions in the league. So if they could give us, I think the Lakers would be interested in shooters as well, man. They got some of them over there. But I like the Raptors' talent for sure. I'm a big fan of Fred VanVleet. I'm not sure how they feel about Pascal Siakam now that obviously their rookie is kind of starting to take the reins there offensively, right? Defensive, they drafted him for defensive purposes, but he seems to be a very solid scorer as well, especially when he slashes. So it's kind of a repetition of what they have with Pascal. So I'd be curious if at some point they'd be willing to trade Siakam. I'd love to have a player like that on the Lakers. He's a hard worker. He's not consistent offensively, but defensively and his ability to attack the rim would be dope. But yeah, I think the Lakers would target shooters on that team. And I'm not sure if Masai Ujiri would be willing to trade with us, though. That's the only thing. But that is a good suggestion, definitely, the Raptors. My boy Real One says, Darvin Ham isn't soft like Frank Vogel. I think Coach Ham will bench Russ. Dan, I think Patrick Beverly will check Russ if he gets out of line. Now, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that because Russ is too prideful, man. If I had to compare Russ to somebody from an anime, Russ is like Vegeta, right? Vegeta always wants to outshine, his brother Goku. But in reality, we know Goku's the stronger of the two. Even though Vegeta's my favorite character in Dragon Ball, don't get it twisted. But the reason I compare him is because I'm not sure if he's aware of his limitations, right? Very similar. So Russell Westbrook getting scolded by Patrick Beverly could only mean there's going to be a fight that breaks out. Because of his ego. I don't think he can humble himself enough to take criticism from a lesser gifted offensive player than him, right? Toronto needs Westbrook, to be honest. Imagine that. Imagine if one of the teams, actually one of these mystery teams that the Lakers are talking to right now would be Russell Westbrook. That would be, the Raptors. That would be crazy because, again, it's the ones you don't hear about that happen. So, I'm going to give Dennis credit if we end up pulling off a trade with Toronto because he called it first. There has never been Russell Westbrook fans? You must not be on Twitter because them dudes, they go after everybody who even puts a low light up of Russell Westbrook. They went after me a couple of times for speaking the truth. So there's a lot of player fans in this modern day era. And sometimes it's getting out of hand, man, especially when these player fans are player fans of players that aren't really that much accomplished as far as winning, right? You said, Dan, don't be surprised if KD requests a trade to the Cavs now that to team up with Mitchell. Nothing would shock me with Kevin Durant. He's random, right? I didn't think he would go back to the Nets, and look at him now. So at this point, whatever Kevin Durant does at the end of his career, nothing would shock me. If he ends up back with the Warriors, I wouldn't be shocked either. Have I seen Dragon Ball Superhero yet? Like I said, I've been binging it. I've been catching up. Usually, I don't have this much time in the summer. So, yeah, I've been watching some Dragon Ball Super for sure. I'm like in episode 40-something. But it takes me a while to finish stuff like that, man. Yeah, I love it. I love it so far. He said, I always wanted Vegeta to win one. That's funny. Hey, that's funny if that nickname sticks for Russell Westbrook. He said, yo, Guillermo, that's tough, bro. He said Westbrook is Vegeta, but with Krillin power. That's messed up, bro. Trade Russ for Brittany Griner. Nah. Let's not make those jokes because Brittany's actually suffering out there, man. I feel bad for her. But in reality, look, the Lakers have to do something, and they have to do it quickly because training camp is approaching here. Now, if anything does happen, then you guys know where to find me. I can't wait. I in my heart of hearts, I feel like something will happen. I'd be shocked if we go into training camp with Russ. I've been saying this all summer long. So I'm gonna stick by it. I'm gonna stick with my gut. Hopefully Russ is off the team to start training camp. But if not, man, we're gonna be making some different tone videos over here. That's a fact, right? Like my tone is gonna change if we still go into the season with Russell Westbrook. All right. So the recent development. Now we're hearing that they don't want to trade Miles Turner. That's news to me because Indiana supposedly wanted to get rid of Miles Turner for a while, and he's been rumored in so many different trade rumors. So that could just be leverage play or whatever, but I'm not going to entertain it because, as you can see, sometimes the stuff that's not reported that happens. So let's go from there. Any final questions before I get off, though? And before I do, I want to give a quick shout out to all of y'all, man, for the support all summer long was phenomenal. We grew over the summer, which usually there's not too much content, but we had plenty to talk about with the whole Patrick Beverley, between that and the Russell Westbrook rumors, and now this Donovan Mitchell trade. We've had plenty to talk about all summer long. So thank you guys for that. I also want to thank my sponsors, man. Prize Pick, shout out to them, man. Now's the time. Y'all want to get into the daily fantasy sports? Here's your chance, man. Promo code DTLF, 100% deposit match guaranteed up to $100. So now's your time to play with some free money, and there's the opportunity. All right. Any final questions? He said Vegeta does win one in. Oh man, don't spoil it for me. I'm not gonna even finish that. I'm not gonna finish that. I got Vegeta. I'm a big Vegeta fan, man. He's on my keychain. Only 2 teams left for the Lakers that can trade Russell Westbrook with assets plus room. He's a Utah and Indy. That's true, William, but the rumor has it that we're talking with 5 different teams. So I don't know how much validity that has, but I guess time will tell. So the Pacers are okay with just losing Turner for nothing next year? I don't buy it. Me neither. Listen, euphoric. Me neither, bro. That's what I'm saying. Everything you hear, take it with a grain of salt. Imagine the Knicks fans that were losing sleep over the Donovan Mitchell trade, and all of a sudden, nothing. Right? More history repeats itself with the Knicks. Again, they don't land the star. But hopefully they're able to grow a star from within. I like RJ. Averaged 20 points per game last year. Just got paid. Let's see what the young man has in store for the Knicks. But all right. That's going to wrap it up for me, man. Thank you guys so much. Last comment I'll read. Adam said, God bless you and your family, DTLF. Don't you think the graphics on 2K23 next gen is garbage? I'm hoping that the gameplay should be good. Yeah, I saw the trailer earlier today, and I was not impressed with the graphics. But I don't really play a lot of My Player. I might get into it this year because the fans have always wanted me to play My Player with them. So I might make some time for that. I might even stream. Matter of fact, I will definitely be streaming some My Team this year on my second channel, Primetime TV. So definitely check that out. But yeah, the graphics. Listen, since I bought the next gen console, there's been very few games that impressed me with the new graphics. On the PS5. So, hopefully they get better as the years progress. But we'll see. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening. Don't forget to please smash the like button on your way out. Truly helps the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Peace out.